Hi, I'm Carolina. I hope you're doing well. Today, what I wanted to do was share a three-step technique that is like dynamite for anxiety and also can be really good for depression as well, really helpful. Maybe dynamite might not be the best word. Maybe Valium. That's probably a bit of a metaphor. It's a bit like Valium actually for anxiety. So what it is, it's a three habits that I'll be teaching you that put together really can help you from getting out of your head and stopping the pattern of thinking, and so really helping you to interrupt that pattern and then move on, rather than really getting stuck in it and going into a cycle and going deeper and deeper into that cycle of thoughts, and even emotions. So this is something that helped me. Really, it's because of this that I've recovered, after years and years and years of anxiety and depression. And I use it, I teach it to my clients, so I usually will teach them consciously, and then I will, when they're in a relaxed state, I will teach this to their subconscious mind as well so that they can pick it up really quick. And it doesn't matter if you're on medication or not on medication. This should bring relief either way. So sometimes some people have come to me who have gone on medication, and the medication unfortunately hasn't helped them, and this really has worked for them. Other people have gone on medication and it's been really helpful. It's really taken the edge off, and they just want to get a little bit better. And other people, maybe they're scared of going on medication, or maybe they don't want to, they want to try it just naturally. And this has been helpful for them as well. So it really doesn't matter where you're at, okay? This is something that can be helpful to anyone at whatever stage you're at, okay? So let's get to it. Okay. So the three-step technique, it's basically three habits, and the habits are let it be, relax, and refocus. So let me explain that to you. So let it be, basically, just think of the Beatles, all right? Let it be. Whenever you're stuck, Beatles, let it be. Okay, so that is basically, it means letting whatever thoughts, whatever feelings, whatever horrible sensations, whatever they are, to just let them be there. Now, I know this sounds hard. I know it sounds almost impossible, okay? But just bear with me and I'll explain it with you. I'll explain it to you. Usually what we do when we have these, well, I know I did, and most of the people that I speak to do this, is we try to fight the feelings, fight the thoughts, maybe even rebuttal the thoughts, maybe even have a kind of like a discussion in your mind, back and fro, trying to really get rid of those thoughts, which is really exhausting, very exhausting, and it doesn't really stop the thoughts from coming back. They keep coming back. The other thing is, even with the feelings, it's often what people do, and I know I did, and it's kind of like just tighten up a lot because we don't want to feel these feelings, and so just innately we just tend to tense up, and it's very natural. It's very natural to do that. So it would seem almost counterintuitive to let it be, but what we're doing, you see, when we're tightening up, or when we're trying to fight the thoughts, fight the feelings, is we're really creating more stress hormones, and we're really putting a lot of focus and a lot of importance on these feelings and on these thoughts, and making them so important and making them our whole life, really. So what we want to do is we want to be like, they can be there, but you know what? I can still go on and do what I want to do. Almost like they're not that important anymore, because they're not. They're really not. So one way that might help you is perhaps to think of to think of these thoughts and feelings, sensations, emotions, all that sort of stuff, to think of them as symptoms. Just as a cold might have symptoms, and everyone gets different symptoms with the cold, or even with the flu. Everyone gets different symptoms. We don't always all get the same thing. So some people get runny noses, some people get a sore throat, some people will get a dry cough, some people will get a mucousy cough, some people will get an itchy cough, some people will get really sore a headache. Some people will get really tight muscles all over. So people will get all different symptoms with the flu or with the cold, right? And it's the same with this. So whether it is that you've got a sensitized nervous system, well, either way you will have, but it could be that you have grown up in circumstances where you also have formed habits of thinking that are negative because of whatever you've gone through. So you haven't been taught anything else. And so either way, whatever it is, think of it as a symptom. So it's either a symptom of, unfortunately, bad learning. No one was there to teach you any better. So you've just learnt these habits of thinking, and don't worry, because they're really just habits. They're habits of thinking, habits of feeling, and you can change habits. You really can. And I'll do a video about neuroplasticity, just to explain that to you, because it's scientific. We know that now, that we can do this. Okay, so it's either a symptom of that, or it's a symptom of a sensitized nervous system. Okay, so if you think of it as, okay, whenever you're having these what if thoughts, or even suicidal thoughts, or just yucky thoughts, violent thoughts, that you're afraid of. So I'm not talking about violent thoughts of you wanting to do something, but more that they come to you and you're like, oh gosh, ooh, and it frightens you. Or you're having thoughts of, how worthless you are, etc. Any of those thoughts. Think of them as symptoms, just like a cough. That's all it is. Same with whatever symptoms you have physically. So be they dizziness, be they the hot flashes, be they the nausea, the upset tummy, whatever it is, the shakiness, whatever it is. Again, just think of them as symptoms, and then the emotional stuff. Maybe you're feeling like crying all the time and you're always on the verge of tears, or maybe you have no feelings at all and you're just like, geez, I'm numb, what's going on here. Maybe you have a lot of guilt, because guilt is actually guilt when it's guilt for no reason over silly little things that most people wouldn't even be guilty about. This is actually also a symptom of anxiety, an anxiety disorder. So, which most people don't know. So they're thinking, well, if I'm feeling guilty, it's because I should be feeling guilty. So any of these things, okay, any of these things, think of them as a symptom, just a symptom, and let them be there. Now I know that what I'm saying sounds really hard, to just let them be there, but what other choice do you have? Because they're there anyway. And fighting them and everything else, if you've been trying that and it hasn't been working, then they're still there, aren't they? So drop that resistance, drop all that fighting, and just let them be there. Okay, so can you see how when we're thinking, when we're having all these thoughts, go, oh my God, I don't want to have these thoughts, and trying to rebuttal the thoughts and back and forth and all that, can you see how that creates more anxiety, creates more stress? Whereas thought popping in, whatever, it's okay. I can just let it be there. Let it be. I don't have to do anything about that. Can you see how all of a sudden that's kind of a bit more of a relaxing sort of way to go? It's got less resistance, and also at the same time, you're not giving it so much importance. Okay. Now, number 2 is relax. So it's relax the body. So with it, thoughts, blah, 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 feelings, whatever, let it be, and then relax the body. So anywhere where you're feeling tense, just relaxing it. Okay, so you're allowing your body to kind of have a bit of a chance to heal by not adding all that stress to it, okay? And number 3, now this is the thing that for me really, really helped, and that is refocus, okay? So refocus means that you totally take your focus away from all this stuff that's going on and focus on something else. And this does take a lot of concentration and a lot of effort to begin with. It's not easy, but the more you do it, like anything else, the more you do it, the better you get at it. Okay, so it's like going to the gym. In the beginning, it's going to be hard, and you're like, bloody hell, I can't do these 10 sit-ups, you know? And you're like puffing and panting and thinking, oh, I want to get out of here. Then by, day 30, you're like, woohoo, this is easy. Oh, 10 push-ups, 10 sit-ups, what's that? Now I can do 100. It's exactly the same. So it might be really hard to begin with, to really use that concentration and refocus, but you can do it. So when I'm saying refocus, the things that you can refocus on are things that are there in your present moment, and also using your senses. So I'll give you an example. So right now, if my heart was beating really fast, I could focus on that. I could be trying to fight it, trying to calm it, trying to do whatever I could to get rid of it. Or I could just go, let it be, relax my body. You know what? I'm not going to spend my time trying to fight this. I'm going to focus on what's in front of me right now. So in front of me right now is this, my phone and me talking to you. So I'll focus on me talking to you. If I wanted to use my eyes, I could focus on the tree outside and, just looking at that and just seeing how the light shines on different parts of the leaves and how the wind makes the wet leaves flutter. I can use my eyes, or I can use my hearing and just, listening to whatever sounds are around me. Might be the cars driving by, might be other people in the clinic, whatever. If I wanted to use my sense of touch, I could just decide to focus, instead of what I'm feeling over here, I could focus on, the feeling of my legs on the chair, the feeling of my feet on the floor, the feeling, I could even decide to focus on a part of my body that doesn't actually have any feeling, and that's really calm and doesn't feel anything right now. Could be like a forearm or something, and just focusing on that. If I was out and about at a restaurant and I started feeling all those feelings, I could just focus on the tastes that I'm eating. Or I could focus on smells around me. So there's like hundreds, probably thousands of things in one present moment that we can actually choose to focus on. The thing is, they're usually not that exciting. They're kind of a bit boring often, and that's why it takes more concentration. That's why also you might find that when you're busy, if you're doing something that you really love, or you're just really busy, you might find that you don't notice those symptoms quite as much. And then when you're not busy, phew, they all come back. The thoughts start coming back, the feelings start coming back. And that's because all of a sudden we don't really have anything that interesting to grab us. So it's really about, in a way, kind of learning to focus on just in the present moment, and sometimes just boring stuff. But this kind of works in a few different ways. You see, if we're focusing on stuff that's pretty boring, then our nervous system really doesn't have to be in fight or flight. It's like, okay, this stuff's pretty boring. Nothing to see here, nothing to fear. All right, everyone, calm down. We can calm down now, because there's really nothing to fight, nothing to flight. Whereas even though there was nothing in the present moment that you really had to worry about, it's most likely it was your thoughts, okay? I'm assuming that you're not in a situation where you're in danger. I'm assuming that that if you're watching this, you have some sort of anxiety disorder, rather than you're in a situation where perhaps you really are anxious for a reason. So, I mean, if that is the case, then that's a completely different thing altogether. But, assuming that it is just all this stuff going on in your mind, that is scary. Whatever it is that you're thinking is scary, even if it is just the thought of, what if the anxiety comes back? That in itself is scary. The fear of the fear. It's frightening. So thinking about all that, that's really stimulating for your nervous system. That's frightening, and your body doesn't know what's real and what isn't. So you thinking about it, bango, is just going to set up all that adrenaline, cortisol, everything going on. But you just going, okay, right now I'm just cutting my vegetables and just focusing on that. Well, no reason for any adrenaline there. So it just gently starts to calm down the nervous system. Secondly, it's been proven now that when we do that, when we focus on the present moment, what it does is it actually builds up like a bridge of communication from the amygdala, which is the part that reacts. It's the part of the brain that basically takes in all the information, filters it all, and reacts to that. So, and pattern matches. So, for example, if you've been hurt by a dog before, and then you hear a dog, smell a dog, see a dog, whatever, the amygdala recognizes that straight away, and it will send out signals to the body straight away, to run or whatever, if you've had situations like that before. However, the prefrontal cortex is the part that is logical, that's calming, that allows you to rationalize everything. So what focusing on the present moment does is it actually builds a bridge between the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex, and it strengthens that. So any time you're doing that, strengthens that bridge more and more and more. So in time, you actually become calmer. You're actually being able to, with time, become more logical, more rational, be able to be less reactive, see things from different perspectives. And so this technique actually works in a whole lot of different ways. So yeah, really, really helpful. So I hope that I've explained it to you well enough. I'm going to be posting a lot of different little videos about how I did this in different situations, so that you might get more of an idea of how you can use it in different circumstances for yourself. Because sometimes it's a little bit tricky to put it all into action. Basically it is, whatever you're feeling, let it be there. Relax the body and then refocus on something else in the present moment, using your senses. So you're using your senses and that's grounding you, rather than being here in your head. And every time you feel yourself going back, because you will, your mind is like a cheeky little monkey that's just like, it'll go back there, and it's like, bring it back to the present moment, and it'll be going off again, bring it back to the present moment. And for me, at one point I was doing this basically every 5 to 8 seconds. It was full on and it was hard. Hopefully you're not in a situation where it's so hard for you, and you might not have to do it quite as much, and so it might be easier for you. But it's basically a practice that you kind of just got to keep doing and doing and doing, and it just interrupts all those thought patterns and brings you right back. And really, really, really key in it helps you to get rid of the fear, because one of the things with an anxiety disorder particularly is that fear of the fear. It's horrible. You're thinking, oh my God, here it comes again, and I don't want to feel this feeling. But when you go, no, the feeling's there, whatever, let it be. I'm just going to get on with my life. That just basically takes all that away. It's real relief. So, it helps you with that, but it also just helps your nervous system calm down, helps that bridge that I told you about. So it helps in a whole lot of different ways. And I think I've just repeated myself there, haven't I? I have a tendency to do that. Sorry. Yeah. So look, what I would suggest is to really give it a go. Know that it's going to be difficult in the beginning. It probably will, but don't give up. And if I could do it, and I was in a really bad way, you know, when I was doing this, I was having flashes from the top of my head all the way down every 5 to 8 seconds, and my whole body just felt like it was just cold or on fire, or I don't know, it was just so sensitive and yucky the whole time, and there was so much going on. And if I could do that, okay, from that to really becoming empowered, then you can too. You absolutely can. It's just habits. It's just learning a new skill, and you can do it, okay? And I know you might think, oh, maybe she's really strong and I'm not as strong as her. No, because you know what? I was thinking to myself, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'll ever be able to get over this. Why am I so weak? Why can't I be like other people and just not have all this? I had all those thoughts. And even with all those thoughts, I still was able to recover, okay? Because all those thoughts, they're those ones that you just go, let them be, okay? So I want you to know that if I could do it, you can. You absolutely can, okay? Don't give up. Don't give up. Okay. Good luck, and I will be posting more videos, as I said, to illustrate a little bit more of how to use this in different scenarios. Okay, bye.